In 1147, the Cornish assisted the Portuguese to expel the Moors from Lisbon. A body of them settled on the banks of the Tagus and called their town Cornwallia. The capture of the city of Lisbon from the Muslims was a byproduct of the Second Crusade to the Holy Land, and one of the few Christian victories of that campaign. It proved to be a pivotal turning point in the history of Portugal, which Portugal is a misnomer. It's just the port of Gaul. Just like people call themselves Puerto Rican when it's the port of Rico. You're calling yourself a port, as it mutated from being a subordinate vassal of Leon into an independent Christian kingdom. When he announced the start of the Second Crusade, Pope Eugene III stated that Christians in the Iberian Peninsula could crusade against the Muslims there rather than travel to the Holy Land. So everyone looks up at the Pope like he's so holy, but he said instead of going to the Holy Land and becoming one with God, go to war. Alfonso Henriquez, self-proclaimed King of Portugal, asked them to join his own personal crusade to capture Lisbon from the Muslims. He offered them the movable goods of the Muslims in the city and any ransoms that could be extracted. But they're doing this in the name of Christianity. We've already did the demonstration in regards to the Cornish rebellion, the ones who was fighting against England, trying to push Christianity and the English Bible upon them. So you had the Cornish who assisted in taking out the Muslims in the name of Christianity, killing, thefting, raping, colonizing, and taking over the land. And it also stated that so-called Cornwallia was established upon the murdering and the throwing out of the Moors. We went through the 3 Moors' heads, etc. You can't rape, kill, and pillage in the name of Christianity and then hundreds of years later stand on the land that you stole and act like you're all about peace and tell people they can only be saved by your Christianity. It is hypocrisy. Again, it is hypocrisy. We have the proof. You stand today going to these temples or these churches saying that you're Christian, honoring the ancestors that murdered, raped, and pillaged. And you wonder why the world is in the shape that it is, because you're pushing this Christianity that was established to steal land, booty, prize, and all of that. You're in grave error, brothers and sisters. The symbol of the cross, which is really idolatry, but the symbol of the cross has nothing to do with Jesus being crucified. It has to do with justice being crucified. The Portugal flag has 5 shields in the form of a cross, and it symbolizes the defeat of the 5 Moorish kings, El Bey, Day, Al, and Ali. So this morning, you all woke up, went and ate your sausage biscuit, and ran to Sunday Christian service with your sausage grease all over your Bible. You're supporting the murder and genocide that your ancestors committed. But see, now when you hear this, you know. So the universe is going to give you your just reward if you continue to participate in this nonsense. And what's even crazier is after you assisted them, if you've seen the book White Cargo, which is European cargo, they put you into slavery and sold you. Remember, we've picked the best Cornish peasants to send to America and do our dirt work. About half an hour afterwards, he returned, and 2 Moors with him, who brought 2 baskets full of white bread. Remember, so-called Jesus brought 2 loaves? And he gave each man a loaf weighing nearly a pound, which was a very delicious meal for us. We haven't eaten nothing during the day, it now being 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He likewise informed us that it was a custom among those sons of rape and plunder not to allow the slaves any kind of food on the first day of their landing, except 1 small loaf of bread at night. And what we then received, he gave us out of his own pocket and said if he was able, his charity would further extend. So you got your own brother that enslaved you. Meanwhile, the Moor is feeding you, right? But you celebrate the coat of arms with the 3 Moors' heads that you chopped off. You're still celebrating and keeping the land that they had and the name of the religion you did it in, and trying to squeeze so-called Jesus, which is Yehoshua, into it. Yehoshua never called himself Christian. He said those that come in my name will cause falsehood, and the only ones who come in the name of Christ are Christians. That's the only ones. Jesus had feet like burner's brass and hair like lamb's wool. You go into your churches, you got some pale-skinned man with straight long hair looking like a hippie. Moors has always assisted us. We was in the Moorish Empire sitting good. But then you have the traitor Cornish that wanted to assist in taking and throwing them out the land so that they can think they can have some land. Well, look how it worked out. You got all these pale-skinned Europeans over in Cornwall thinking they Christian and they're saved by God, when in fact you have earthly salvation, but you don't have spiritual salvation. You only have earthly salvation because you took the land, you took the earth. But spiritually you are doomed because you raped, pillaged, and colonized and killed, and now you lie and continuously support it, being ignorant. And the Pope even supported stealing and killing, violating the 10 Commandments and all that. I leave you in peace and love with my heart as light as a feather, because I don't honor this. I stand in the true presence of truth. I leave you in peace and love.